All right, so let's dive into this article by Marinus Pereira about surviving versus thriving. I know you're already familiar with Pereira's work in neurobusiness,
Oh, yeah.
especially how like our brains and emotions play a role
Wow.
in, well, pretty much everything we do. But here's where it gets really interesting. She tackles those moments when we encounter folks with what she calls a survival mindset.
Right.
You know, those times when someone else's success feels threatening, like there's not enough to go around.
Yeah, like it's a zero-sum game.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a concept rooted in that primal fear that resources are scarce. So people hoard ideas,
Mm-hmm.
opportunities, even connections, because they think someone else's gain
Mm-hmm.
is automatically their loss.
Mm-hmm.
What's fascinating here is that Pereira experienced this firsthand. She talks about having her ideas stolen,
Oh, wow.
clients poached, even attempts to sabotage her collaborations, all because some people couldn't handle her success.
It's almost like they saw her shining brightly. And instead of being inspired, they tried to dim her light. It makes you wonder, why not focus on building your own success instead of tearing someone else down?
Exactly. And that's where this survival mindset
Mm.
becomes a real roadblock to progress.
Yeah.
Carreira argues that this fear-based approach stifles innovation and creates a culture of copycats. Everyone's so afraid to share their ideas,
Mm.
to be vulnerable and authentic,
Yeah.
that they just end up copying what they think is working,
Right.
rather than forging their own path.
So instead of a world bursting with unique ideas
Yeah.
and genuine collaboration, we get stuck in this kind of imitative rut where everyone's just trying to one-up each other, right? It's like that game of follow the leader, but nobody's actually leading anywhere new.
Yeah, nobody's breaking new ground.
Yep.
Carreira calls this copycat behavior a symptom of stagnation. Instead of trusting their own abilities and taking risks, people with this mindset play it safe, clinging to the familiar,
Yeah.
and seeing the world as a zero-sum game.
Right?
But here's what I find so inspiring about Pereira. She didn't let those negative experiences define her.
Yeah. It would have been easy to become jaded, to withdraw from collaboration altogether, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But she took a different path.
Absolutely. She dove headfirst into new fields like coaching, neuroscience, and even AI areas that were often met with skepticism at the time.
Wow.
And this wasn't just dabbling. She became a leading voice in these areas, especially when it came to integrating AI into her work.
I think a lot of people would assume that after experiencing so much negativity from people, she might be hesitant to embrace AI, you know, another player in the game. But it seems like she actually turned to AI as a way to move past those limitations.
Yeah, she saw the potential there.
Yeah.
What's really insightful here is that Pereira recognized the potential of AI to create a more secure and collaborative environment.
Interesting.
She started using it not just for tasks,
Yeah.
but as a strategic partner,
Hmm.
especially for decision-making and mitigating the risks associated with human collaborators who might not be operating from a place of integrity.
So in a way, she found a solution by embracing technology, which in itself is a pretty bold move given her past experiences.
Right, and that's where we start to see the seeds of what Pereira calls the prosperity mindset taking root. This isn't just about adopting a positive outlook. It's about building a foundation based on self-awareness, discipline, and persistence. It's about understanding your own values, setting clear boundaries, and recognizing that true success comes from creating value, not just competing for scraps.
And that shift from viewing the world as a place of scarcity to one of abundance seems pretty crucial, right? It's like moving from a defensive posture to one that's open to collaboration and mutual benefit.
Exactly. Pereira talks about seeing abundance as a reality for everyone, not just a select few. It's about realizing that someone else's success doesn't diminish your own potential. In fact, it can often enhance it. It's about shifting from that fear-based me versus them mentality to a more collaborative we approach.
Which makes me wonder, how do we actually cultivate this prosperity mindset in our own lives? It sounds great in theory, but I bet it takes some real work to shift those deeply ingrained beliefs, especially if you've been burned in the past.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely requires conscious effort, and it's not always easy. But Pereira offers some practical advice based on her own experience.
So what are some of those practical steps? I mean, we all know the basics, set goals, work hard, and so on. But is there something more specific, more targeted that we can do to cultivate that prosperity mindset that Pereira talks about?
But one of the first things Pereira emphasizes is the importance of self-awareness. She talks about the need to really understand your own values,
Yeah.
strengths, and weaknesses.
Okay.
Because let's face it, When you're operating from a place of insecurity, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others,
Yeah.
feeling threatened by their success, and ultimately adopting that scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
But when you have a strong sense of self, you're less likely to be swayed by external validation or competition.
It's almost like beating that inner compass, right? Knowing
Right.
your own direction, so you're not constantly getting blown off course with
Okay.
other people's wins.
Exactly. And that brings us to another key element that Pereira highlights, setting clear boundaries. She's very candid about her own experiences with people who took advantage of her generosity
Mm.
or tried to manipulate her for their own gain. So she learned the hard way that protecting your energy, your time, and your ideas is essential for maintaining a prosperity mindset.
This resonates with me because I think a lot of us, especially those who are naturally collaborative or giving, can struggle with setting boundaries. We want to help, we want to be supportive, but sometimes that can backfire if we're not careful.
Right. And Pereira actually offers some really practical advice on how to set boundaries effectively.
Yeah.
She talks about the importance of being assertive, communicating your needs clearly, and not being afraid to say no when something doesn't align with your values or goals.
So it's not about being unkind or shutting people out. It's about protecting your own energy and focus so you can continue to create and thrive.
Precisely. And this leads to another crucial aspect of the prosperity mindset: persistence. Pereira is very clear that this isn't some quick fix or magical formula. It's about showing up consistently, even when you don't feel like it, even when you face setbacks or rejection. It's about cultivating that inner drive, that belief in your own vision that keeps you moving forward even when the going gets tough.
I think that's where the discipline part comes in, right? It's about having that commitment to your goals, that willingness to put in the work, even when it's not glamorous or easy.
Absolutely. And Pereira's own story is a testament to the power of persistence. She didn't achieve success overnight. She faced numerous challenges, betrayals, and moments of self-doubt. But she kept going, kept learning, kept refining her approach. And ultimately, that's what allowed her to break free from the limitations of the survival mindset and create a life of true abundance and fulfillment.
Which brings us back to that concept of creating value, which you mentioned earlier. Can you elaborate on that a bit? What does it really mean to create value, especially within the context of a prosperity mindset?
That's a great question. And it's something that Pereira emphasizes throughout her work. For her, creating value isn't just about making money or achieving personal success. It's about making a positive impact on the world, contributing something meaningful, whether that's through your work, your relationships, or your community involvement. It's about seeing yourself as a force for good, someone who brings light and abundance to the world, rather than just trying to grab your share of a limited pie.
So it's about shifting from that me focus to a more expansive we perspective, right?
Yeah.
Recognizing that our individual success is interconnected with the well-being of others and the larger ecosystem.
Exactly. And that's where Pereira's integration of AI gets really interesting. She sees technology, particularly AI, as a powerful tool for amplifying our ability to create value.
You know, it's funny, when we first started talking about Pereira's work and her experiences with people trying to undermine her, I thought she might have turned away from collaboration altogether, especially when it came to AI, as if that would be just another potential threat. But it seems like the opposite happened. She actually embraced AI as a way to enhance collaboration and create a more trustworthy environment.
That's a really astute observation. And it speaks to Pereira's willingness to challenge conventional thinking and find innovative solutions. Instead of seeing AI as a replacement for human connection, she saw it as a way to augment and strengthen those connections, especially in the face of past betrayals.
It's almost like she's using technology to build a bridge between the individual and the collective, between the me and the we, if that makes sense.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And it highlights a really important point about Pereira's philosophy. She doesn't see technology and human connection as mutually exclusive. In fact, she believes they can complement and enhance each other, creating a more harmonious and prosperous ecosystem for everyone.
So in essence, Pereira is suggesting that by cultivating a prosperity mindset, by embracing self-awareness, setting boundaries, persisting through challenges, and focusing on creating value, we can break free from the limitations of a scarcity-driven world and tap into a more abundant and fulfilling reality.
Exactly. And she believes that AI can play a crucial role in this transformation, helping us to connect, collaborate, and create in ways that were previously unimaginable.
This is all incredibly inspiring, but I'm also curious about the practical side of things. How does Pereira actually use AI in her work? What specific tools or techniques does she recommend for leveraging AI to foster this prosperity mindset?
That's a great question, and it's something we can definitely delve into. Pereira is very transparent about her own AI toolkit and the ways she uses it to enhance her decision-making, streamline her workflow, and even mitigate some of the risks associated with human collaborators who might not share her values.
So let's get specific. When we talk about Pereira's AI toolkit, what are we actually talking about? I mean, AI can encompass so many different things these days.
Yeah, it really can. Pereira's approach is really fascinating because it goes beyond just using AI for tasks like scheduling or data analysis. She actually uses AI as a sounding board, a thought partner, especially when it comes to strategic decision-making.
So almost like having an extra brain in the room, one that can process vast amounts of data and offer insights that might not be immediately apparent to a human.
Exactly. And one of the key tools she utilizes for this purpose is what she calls a decision support system.
Interesting.
It's basically an AI-powered platform that allows her to input various factors, goals,
Yeah.
and potential risks associated with a particular decision. The AI then analyzes this data and generates a range of possible outcomes, along with their associated probabilities.
That sounds incredibly helpful, especially for someone like Pereira, who has experienced the downsides of relying solely on human judgment.
Oh, absolutely. It allows her to make more informed, data-driven decisions, while also mitigating some of the emotion biases or blind spots that we all have. Another tool she mentions is a collaboration compatibility analyzer.
Okay, that one sounds really intriguing. What is that all about?
Essentially, it's an AI system that helps her assess the compatibility of potential collaborators based on a variety of factors, including their values, work styles, communication patterns, and even their online presence.
It's almost like a matchmaking service for collaborators. I mean, if you think about Pereira's past experiences with untrustworthy individuals, it makes perfect sense that she would want to leverage AI to find partners who are more aligned with her values and vision.
Precisely. And this goes back to that concept of setting boundaries and protecting your energy. Pereira is a big believer in choosing her collaborators wisely, and this AI tool helps her do just that. She also uses AI for what she calls idea validation.
I'm all ears. How does that work?
She has an AI system that allows her to test the viability of new ideas before investing too much time or resources into them. The AI analyzes market trends, consumer behavior, and competitive landscapes to provide insights into the potential success of a particular idea.
So it's like a virtual focus group, but powered by algorithms and big data. That's incredibly valuable, especially in today's fast-paced and ever-changing world.
Absolutely. It allows Pereira to stay ahead of the curve, to identify emerging trends, and to refine her ideas based on real-time data. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of Pereira's AI toolkit is the way she uses it to promote continuous learning and growth.
You know, we've talked a lot about the importance of self-awareness, discipline, and persistence in cultivating a prosperity mindset. But I imagine AI can play a role in those areas as well.
Absolutely. Pereira actually uses AI-powered learning platforms
Yeah.
to personalize her own education and development.
Interesting.
These platforms curate content and resources based on her interests, goals, learning style, helping her to stay informed, expand her knowledge base, and continuously refine her skills.
So it's like having a personal tutor who can tailor the learning experience to your specific needs and preferences. That's amazing.
It is pretty cool. And it goes beyond just individual learning. Pereira believes that AI can also be a powerful tool for fostering collective intelligence and collaborative problem solving. She envisions a future where AI-powered platforms connect individuals from diverse backgrounds and disciplines, facilitating the exchange of ideas, the co-creation of solutions, and the emergence of a truly global prosperity mindset.
It's almost like using AI to create a virtual think tank where people can come together to address complex challenges and co-create a more abundant and sustainable future for everyone.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes Pereira's work so inspiring. It's not just about individual success. It's about using technology and a prosperity mindset to create a better world for all of us.
It really makes you think about the potential of AI, not just as a tool for efficiency or automation, but as a catalyst for human connection, collaboration, and a more expansive sense of possibility.
It's about shifting our perspective from what can AI do for me to what can we do together with the help of AI.
And that's a pretty profound shift, isn't it? It's about recognizing that technology, at its best, can help us transcend our individual limitations and tap into a collective intelligence that is far greater than the sum of its parts.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It's about moving from a world of scarcity to a world of abundance, from a mindset of survival to a mindset of prosperity. and realizing that AI can be a powerful ally in this journey.
Well, this has been a truly fascinating deep dive into Marinus Pereira's work. I feel like we've only scratched the surface of what's possible when we combine a prosperity mindset with the power of AI.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the key takeaway here is that we all have a choice. We can choose to operate from a place of fear and scarcity, or we can choose to embrace a mindset of abundance and possibility. We can choose to see technology as a threat, or we can choose to see it as a tool for connection, collaboration, and the creation of a better world.
So the question is, what will you choose?
I think that's a question worth pondering. After all, the future is not something that happens to us. It's something we create together.